Hey guys, it's Castro72 and I'm here with my January 2014 thrift store pickups. I've been collecting, but I've been kind of slow on it. Just trying to save some money. But I did get some pickups this past January, and they were like all Nintendo stuff. So here goes. I went to a place called Cash Traders here in Niles, Illinois. It's like a pawn shop type of place where people like trade in valuable stuff to get money and cash. So you can buy stuff there, and I got a couple Game Boy Advance games, and I'm going to come up to the camera for each one because obviously they're small. I got Mario Tennis Power Tour, and I got this for $2.99. Now this game was kind of funny. Like when I put it in, I was expecting to play tennis right away, but I didn't know, honestly, there's like an RPG element. So I actually didn't even play one game of tennis. I was just kind of like using whatever save file was on here, just kind of like walking around the town. I'm going to try to explore this one a little more until I can actually play tennis on it. And it's funny because I was like, where's the tennis? It's like an RPG. Next, I found a game for Game Boy Advance called Gremlins Stripe vs. Gizmo. And I think it was brought out by a company called LSP or something and developed by Dreamcatcher. Now, this one's weird. I thought the last Gremlins game I played was that Sunsoft one on the NES, and I thought it would be something like that, but this is nothing like that. It's actually like a side-scroller game, and you can be either Gizmo or Stripe, and it's one of those games, like I played it on the big screen on my Game Boy player, and the scrolling actually kind of got me a little like dizzy or sick. It was kind of weird. It might play better on a tiny screen. I'll have to try it. But it was different, and I got that for $2.99 as well. And then from the same company, LSP, I didn't even know they made these Game Boy games. Are like, there's so many Game Boy games. Game Boy Advance games that I just don't know what's out there. I found this one called CT Special Forces. Now I got this for $2.99. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's kind of like a Metal Slug actually. I played it and I was like, this is actually pretty decent. I mean, not as good as Metal Slug, but it kind of had the same feel, kind of a run and gun. And I don't know if like you can use a two-player link up and play two players, but this was actually pretty good, worth my $2.99, the most surprising of the bunch. Then I found Konami Crazy Racers. Now I've been looking for this for a long time. I remember hearing about this game when the Game Boy Advance first came out, and it kind of disappeared into obscurity. It's basically Konami's take on Mario Kart, with a whole bunch of different like Konami type characters, like Simon Belmont, the Easter Island head, I think from Gradius is in there, I think. I'm not sure. I didn't see him, but I think I remember reading that. Like there's a baseball player from one of the Konami Famicom games, I think. I don't know, and Mystical Ninja's in here, Goemon. They're all like racers in this game, and it's kind of cool. Crazy Racers, very hard to find, at least for me. So I'm glad I found that. I was looking for that one. And last but not least, I found a pirated Game Boy Advance game. It's called 69 in 1. The serial number is SP69A144. If you guys want to look it up. And this is how it looks like. You guys won't be able to see it. But anyway, this game is strange. Like on the cover it says there's Dance Dance Revolution Max 2, Pokemon Pinball, both of which are not on there. Some Mahjong type screen, and then like Tetris 2 is on here, and then Yaya Hakusho. Like that's all on this cover, but you can't really see it. But anyway, the actual games that are on here, there aren't 69 games. It's actually a variation of 8 games. Like they just like double or speed up the level or something. There's really only 8 games on here. Yu Yu Hakusho, like a fighting tournament game. And it's a Game Boy game. These are all Game Boy games on a Game Boy Advance cartridge. So Yu Yu Hakusho, Kid Nicky, which is probably the best game on here. I was surprised to see the Game Boy version of Kid Nicky. Q Billion, which was released here in the States, is a puzzle game. I've never played before, and I was actually kind of confused when I tried it. I think I have to look up a FAQ for that. Othello, which I don't think was released here. We have an NES cart, but we don't have the Game Boy game. Clax, which I think was released as a Game Boy game here. Alleyway, Tetris, and something called Yakuman, which is the Mahjong title. So this was a weird pickup, and I decided to get it. I got it for $2.99, and I played it on my Game Boy Player, and all of the games played. But I don't know if I could play it on a DS, because DSs weren't compatible with the original Game Boy. Although this is a Game Boy Advance cartridge, I don't know if it'll play the games. I haven't tried it, but I know it works on my Game Boy Player. Last but not least, I got 4 Super Nintendo games. I've got Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure, which is a rarity, one valued at $4. I got it for $3.99. I don't know. I heard good things about this game, but when I played it, I felt the gameplay was a little loose. I don't know. I like the original Pitfall on Atari. It was okay, and I have Pitfall for the Genesis. Didn't really give it much playtime. I thought maybe the SNES version would kind of be a little better, but really, either way, it wasn't that great for me. King Arthur's World. This is a rarity 3, valued at $6. I got it for $4.99. It's kind of like Lemmings, really. You know, it's not. You know, I played it, but like I didn't know what I was doing. Might have to try to find a FAQ and see if it's worth going through. But it plays kind of like Lemmings with these like little tiny guys, and you got to tell them where to go and stuff like that. Next, I got Demolition Man, which is a rarity 2, valued at $5. I got for $4.99, so pretty much at face value. I remember seeing. No, actually, I saw the movie back when it was first released. I have no idea what it is about. I think Stallone is in it and it's Wesley Snipes. I felt the gameplay kind of was like loose again. I don't know, like not really tight, and kind of like a Contra, I guess. I don't know. It was okay. It's for the collection, you know. I needed to get it. And last but not least, which I thought was kind of the best Super Nintendo game of the bunch, was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is a rarity 1. It's common, valued at $4, and I got it for $3.99. So I basically got it for the value price. And this game kind of plays. I mean, the graphics are big and bold, and it's made by Psygnosis, so it's a European development company. But it was actually all right. Not as good as like a Castlevania or anything, but I like the big bold sprites and the attack patterns, and it was okay. Yeah, I might play this again. I have the NES version, and it's actually not as good as this. I mean, well, they're about kind of the same, I guess. I don't know. I have to replay it. But the NES version had like smaller sprites and wasn't as impressive. Anyway, that's all I got for the month of January. Until next month, happy gaming, guys.